Welcome back. Well, South Africa may have been experiencing good summer rains, but in some areas it's still not recovered from the drought. And scientists are predicting that increased climate inconsistency will expose the country to more frequent and prolonged droughts. So to unpack some of these challenges as well as a way forward, we're joined now by Unisa specialist in integrated water resource management, Anja du Plessis. Anja, thank you so much for your time this morning. It's quite actually unfortunate that we're experiencing this downpour, but at the back of it, there's still this very much real lived experience of the South African that water continues to be a scarce resource, particularly in some areas. Let's talk a little bit about just some of the water challenges that we're actually encountering as a country.
Faith, that's a very good question because our water challenges are multifaceted. As you know, some of the rural areas, well, most of them, are experiencing unreliable water supply, even though the primary thing is, even though you're receiving lots of rain, your dams are full. If your infrastructure is not maintained and upgraded and suitable, and your resources are constantly being polluted by sewage, you will always have water problems.
Yeah, I mean, we're always going to have water problems. We're always going to have these sporadic moments of like downpours and heavy downpours. Have we found a way of being able to just enhance and be able to take advantage of the times that we do have water, or rain, lots of rain in the country? So how are we faring in terms of even having like water catchment, mechanisms so that we don't find ourselves where rainwater just gets misused, whereas rainwater can actually be harvested?
Look, in terms of currently, we have a very good water storage system. South Africa has experienced above average rainfall due to the La Nina, which is usually followed by El Nino, which then brings with it reduced rainfall. But Faith, at the end of the day, I mean, like Hammanskraal is a very good example as well. Even though they have infrastructure, the infrastructure is not working. So if you do not have a manner to get the water to your consumers, it's not going to work. People will still stand in queues. Sometimes the taps are dry. There is water rationing. Water is cloudy due to pollution, as well as then obviously the infrastructure that is very old.
Yeah.
Most of the infrastructure that we have is more than 2 decades or 3 decades old. So, but unfortunately, the government has been focused on just increasing capacity and access to water. But you know, if you have even though you have a tap, you might have a shower or whatever. If the infrastructure is not there, you won't be able to get any water out of it.
Yeah, you would think this would be an easy to solve kind of mechanism. There's a need to maintain the infrastructure so that we can actually have good quality drinking water accessible to all South Africans, and that clearly is not the case. In fact, the Human Rights Commission once termed it an actual human rights violation when it comes to certain even districts. I think there was even the Emfuleni municipality that was struggling with being able to provide good drinking water to its residents. So then in here on out, Anja, what is the solution and what role can we as a community actually play in being able to advocate for running good, clean, quality water?
Look, I think that the Save the Vaal program that was implemented by the communities there due to the major sewage problems, that's a very good example of how we as a community can raise our voice. But at this point in time, the corruption in government has to be addressed. This is quite clear. It has been clear for a couple of years. They always launch task teams. You can always launch as many plans as you want. You can write as many reports as you want. But if there is no proper action and there is no skilled personnel that can actually implement and enforce these things, we will keep on being stuck, and infrastructure will keep on being deteriorated. So we have to work with government as well, but government also has to step up at this point.